And welcome to a new episode of The Simpsons Did It. I'm your host, Steven Sklansky.
And I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky.
Man, I hate you. I'm going to get a new brother.
That's not how this works.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, I just can't
go
go
out.
out.
Any of this works.
Oh, I just can't go out to the brother store and buy a new brother?
No, it's because your dad needs to be dead.
Oh, our dad's not dead yet.
No.
Oh.
So you can't get a big brother because the whole point of it is to have a father figure.
Oh, I could get a new father. Right?
No. You
Oh.
only get one.
Oh, sad. Well, I guess we're going to have to learn what Homer did to get a new son and Bart get a new father, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, this is season 4, episode 14, Brother from the Same Planet. And the episode's title is a play on the John Sayles movie, The Brother from Another Planet.
Never heard of it.
Nope. Air date, we get, we're into February 4th, 1993. So getting inching a little bit closer to the finish line for season 4. Recap. Bart gets a big brother, quote unquote, who takes care of him, and out of jealousy, Homer gets a little brother.
Now I forgot to mention this. I should have started the episode like this, but I just like to say for all you people out there, happy Halloween.
Oh, yes.
It's Halloween today.
Halloween.
This is a very, very scary episode. So wait,
but
we're not doing Treehouse of Horror, are we?
No, but
there is
a scary part.
There we go. Episode. Perfect. All right, we solved the Halloween portion of this episode. There is a very scary part to this episode.
Yes. Yeah. So the chalkboard gag, the principal's toupee is not a frisbee. Now, funny enough, Principal Skinner actually doesn't have a toupee because Matt Groening didn't want to do the cliche toupee joke.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Principal Skinner's hair is all there.
Well, then which principal's hair did he throw? Maybe there was a substitute principal.
Yeah,
that might be it. I would have to say maybe vice principal. Is there a vice principal at Springfield Elementary?
No, there is not. There's only Principal Skinner.
Oh.
So maybe Principal Skinner had a toupee, but then he got a hair transplant and just now his hair is all real because it's in his head.
Well, remember, he wasn't really Principal Skinner.
Oh, that's true.
So, I don't know. It seems like a weird chalkboard gag for this week because we all know that Principal Skinner's hair is there. Yeah. Weird. Yeah. I don't know.
So the couch gag this week is a repeat. It's from Homer the Heretic. It's the hidden door couch gag where the door swivels around.
Yeah, now here's the funny thing about this. When I saw that again, I knew it was a repeat, but what I didn't realize is there was another couch on the other side of the wall. I thought when the couch reversed, it was just a blank wall with no couch.
No, it was a couch. No, it was a couch.
So the Simpsons have 2 Simpsons couches?
Maybe.
That's their backup Simpsons couch?
Yeah.
Maybe the area behind the couch is Bartman's cave.
Ooh.
Like the secret area. And then now all the Simpsons know that Bart is Bartman. Like it's not in his name.
Yeah.
Weird. So, pretty boring intro this week. Chalkboard gag that doesn't make sense and a repeat couch gag.
Yeah.
Must be mid-season or something. So we start off the episode with soccer practice.
Yep.
And we learn that Bart is into some soccer here.
Yep.
Which a lot of kids tend to be. I just started my kid off with soccer shots. So being 3, starting to play some soccer. So still doesn't quite understand that he can't use his hands. But he's 3, so I'll let it slide a little bit. Yeah. And Bart's being the goalie, which is awesome. Go Bart. And Nelson kicks the ball into Bart's face, which, hey, good save.
Yeah.
And I like how Bart's in the tent. He's like, "Eye of the tiger, eye of the tiger," because apparently he saw Rocky 3.
Yep.
And so he knows this. Well, remember, he knows about Rocky because remember when they're learning about Roman numerals, he's like Rocky 2 plus Rocky 5 equals Rocky 7, Adrian's Revenge.
Except there's... Is there technically seven
Technically
Rocky
now
movies?
there is, yeah.
Because there's the 2 Creed movies. There 5 Rocky movies?
Well, no, there's 5 Rocky movies, and then there's Rocky with where he fights some dude, and then there's Rocky Balboa. So technically there is 7 Rocky movies, which I kind of got disappointed when they had the 7th Rocky movie that they did not name it Adrian's Revenge.
Yeah.
I was very upset at that. But I like how Bart's like, I stopped the ball. And Nelson's like, I hurt somebody. And then they shake hands because apparently, hey, they both did a good job.
Yeah.
And I love how Nelson's sitting on the soccer field smoking. Badass
Actually,
kid.
by the way, going back to the Rocky thing, there's technically 8 Rocky movies now because Rocky 6 was Rocky Balboa.
Yep.
And then Creed was 7. And then 8 is the second Creed movie.
Oh. I guess those are considered Rocky movies. I consider those ones Creed movies.
But Rocky is in them.
Yeah. He's in them. They're not based around his life.
That's true. So there's technically only 6 Rocky movies. Then.
Okay. All right. So we learned apparently that Nelson's father is the soccer coach, which isn't he always complaining that his dad went out for cigarettes and never came back?
But clearly, I mean, he looks like Nelson.
Oh, no, he's Nelson's father. I mean, I think we've seen actual pictures of Nelson's dad, but I don't understand. I mean, I guess we technically haven't heard out of Nelson's mouth that his dad, maybe it's a recent thing. Like his dad's around and then all of a sudden he left for milk and never came back, or cigarettes and never came back. I guess we'll put a pin in that. And I guess I kind of want to know if Nelson ever mentions how old he was when his dad ran away. So we'll see, I guess. And so soccer practice is over and Milhouse and his friends jump in the back of a truck, apparently. Was that Nelson's dad's truck? Was that like...
No. Milhouse and friends drove up in a truck being driven by Jimbo.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Jimbo was driving the truck.
Oh.
Milhouse, Wendell, and another kid were already in the back.
Yeah, I knew they had that. I guess I didn't notice Jimbo was driving the actual truck.
Yeah, Jimbo was driving the truck.
Interesting. That he'd be hanging out with Milhouse and his friends, but sure.
Yeah.
And they're going to sneak into a rated R movie titled Barton Fink, which is a real movie from 1991, edited and directed by the Coen brothers. So I thought I knew all the Coen brother movies. Apparently I don't.
I kind of want to watch this movie. Now I know it didn't do well in the theaters, but it does star John Turturro and John Goodman.
Interesting. I guess I'll have to check that out. And then after maybe the movies, I'll be like, Barton Fink. After I walk out. So Bart, doesn't want to go because he said he would wait for Homer.
Yeah. And
all the kids start making fun of him.
Yep.
And, now we come back to the Simpson house and Homer is watching TV and Marge tells Homer and, they're going to their sister's and not to forget to pick up Bart. And Homer says, I'm on my way. But he's actually solving the Wheel of Fortune puzzle on TV.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. That's
a good gag. I like that.
Yeah.
And then I love how when it ends, he's like, Marge, did you say something? And then and she's already gone.
Yep. And so Bart's sitting at the thing. He's like, oh, maybe that's Homer. And he sees a woman driving a car that looks identical to Homer, but is wearing a gray wig and looks like Homer.
It's a woman.
Yeah. It's a woman Bart mistakes for Homer because the woman looks exactly like Homer with a gray wig on.
Yes.
Which is really funny. That's and she's singing "I'm a Woman," which
makes am woman. Hear me roar.
Yeah, which is even funnier.
Yes.
So now it starts raining out, and Bart tries to get under a tree because trees will protect you a little bit, and the lightning strikes the tree, and Bart gets knocked back. Like, I mean,
did the tree explode? Like, I've never seen a tree struck by lightning, but I feel like it's not going to explode.
Oh no, lightning could crack trees, man. It's a bolt of lightning, dude. Like it could destroy, not maybe flame it up and turn it to ash, but I mean, it could get damaged. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It can get damaged. And so Bart's sitting there, where's Homer? And then we cut to Homer in the playroom again. The playroom's back.
Yep.
On the third floor.
I did read somewhere they did use a few clips from previous episodes. So this would obviously be from three men in a comic book.
Yeah.
But you don't see the flash of lightning of them in the treehouse fighting, because obviously that'd be really weird.
So once again, I think we mentioned this a couple episodes ago where they reused the Homer at the bat stuff. So come on,
apparently
man.
they wanted to save money on this episode.
Yeah, man. They don't want to pay their animators. They're like, we're just going to reuse all the old animation.
Yeah.
And so we see as, Bart's sitting there, it's getting windy, and a nun gets picked up by the storm and thrown into the mountains. And apparently she's combustible because she explodes, or maybe she hit like a propane tank on the top of the mountain and it explodes.
Apparently, I think this is supposed to be making fun of the show The Flying Nun as well.
Oh, never heard of it.
You never heard of The Flying Nun?
Nope.
What?
I don't know.
I mean, I've heard of it. I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Oh, I don't know. So then Bart tries to telepathically reach Homer, just like in The Shining.
The Shining.
Yeah, we can't say Shining because we don't want to get sued.
Yeah, well, you can. It's a reference to The Shining.
Oh, okay.
Because
this is the first instance where Bart uses that shin of his.
Yes. So, but when Bart's doing this, he's saying, pick up Bart, pick up Bart. And unfortunately, it's not going to Homer. It's going to Milhouse.
Yep.
And he writes it, and Milhouse writes, pick up Bart backwards. And
Trebu puke. Trebu puke.
And this is a movie moment. As we've stated, this is from The Shining when Danny Torrance writes red rum on the mirror or on the wall, and it says murder.
Yep.
Because red rum, red rum, red rum. And so Kirk, Milhouse's father, comes in, sees him writing on the wall, and tells him to go to his room. And
so
he doesn't
what
notice
wall
what
was he writing on? He wasn't in his room? Was he in a bathroom or something?
Maybe.
It's kind of funny. He's like, what have I told you about writing on the wall? Go to your room. So he leaves a room to go to another. I feel like he would have already been in his room writing on his own wall, but
yeah,
it's kind of funny.
So then, we cut back to the Simpsons house, and Homer still not realizing what he's supposed to do, and he's watching something on Bart's Star. Is it like a documentary or?
In the span of an hour, he has now watched TV in 3 rooms. Why is he moving room to room watching TV?
No, he's still in the den.
No, he was in the living room watching Wheel of Fortune.
No, he was in the den watching Wheel of Fortune, because I went back because I was like, oh, how can Marge see Homer in the den? Because when it cuts out, the picture of the sailboat is on the wall after Wheel of Fortune.
No, because they were walking out the front door. So Homer was in the front room.
Trust me, I know. I went back and rewatched that scene because I was like, wait, Homer's in the den watching Wheel of Fortune. And so I went back and rewatched it. He is in the den watching Wheel of Fortune.
What are you calling the den? The normal room? The couch room?
Yes, the couch room.
Okay, what would you call the room that he was supposed to be in?
The living room.
Okay, so he was in
the couch room watching Wheel of Fortune. I went back and rewatched it because the angle at which Marge was looking at Homer would not have worked, but clearly they made it work in the animation.
I don't know. The picture
I rewatched the scene.
I don't know.
He was in the couch room.
I don't know. I don't think so.
It doesn't matter what you think. It's true. Those are the facts. So anyways, he's watching something on Bart Starr, apparently, who was the quarterback for the Green Bay
But
Packers.
Is he in the couch room doing that?
Yes.
Okay, so why the hell did he go up to Maggie's playroom to watch TV after Wheel of Fortune and then just come back downstairs again to watch?
Because they didn't want to pay the animators to animate another room, the same room. I don't know. So anyways, So Homer, as I've stated 3 times now, he's watching a documentary on Bart Starr, apparently, who in 92, I believe that is when Brett Favre took over. So I'm assuming they did the Bart Starr reference because of what happens next, where he's like, he can't help but feel he's forgetting something. And we hear the fans on TV chanting, Bart, Bart, Bart. And then Santa's little helper is barking, and it sounds like he's barking Bart, which, you know, we've heard dogs bark and it sounds like things.
Yeah.
And so, and then Maggie burps and it sounds like she burps the word Bart. And he's like, and he goes up to the bathtub and he's taking a soak, and his brain's like, pick up Bart. Pick up Bart. And Homer's like,
pick a bar.
Pick a bar? Pick a bar? What does that even mean? And so, and then, Homer, falls asleep in the tub and he has a dream about picking up Bart. But when he gets there, Bart is a skeleton still wearing the soccer uniform. And even his hair area is pointed. Yep. And we've gone over this before. Is that hair or is that his skeleton?
Now I think it's obviously his skeleton. Because he's a skeleton and his hair is pointed, or his hair area is pointed.
Yeah. And so he wakes up from his dream, realizes that he forgot to pick up Bart, and he runs out of the house naked. Marge and Lisa have come home. Lisa yells at Homer to hide his shame. And then we hear Ned in the background goes, "Hidey ho, neighborino. I can see he's
like, "Hiya, Homer. I can see your doodle."
Shut up, Flanders.
I love it. That is fantastic. I absolutely love that line from Flanders.
Yeah. And so, Homer picks up Bart. Now, mind you, when he picks up Bart, he is now wearing clothes. Now, obviously, I'm assuming after Homer said he could see his doodle, he realized either one of two things. He realized he was naked and went back in the house and changed, or 2, he has a change of clothes in his car because of all of his drunken nights. And he's like, I better have a change of clothes.
No, I think he just went back in the house and got dressed.
So as an apology to Bart, Homer bought Bart ice cream, but he hits a bump in the road and the ice cream flies out of the ice cream bowl and onto Bart's head.
Yeah.
Which that must have been one hell of a bump, because I don't know what the physics are of that.
Well, I mean, if it was a speed bump, I mean your body goes up and down, so I feel like anything, if you're holding something solid and your body goes up, whatever's in the solid item would jump out as well.
And now we get to our Halloween moment for a non-Halloween episode.
Yeah. I love Homer. Bart imagines Homer with his burning face off, like all melty and creepy, and even the background outside the car is all flames. It's like that Lisa episode where they're sitting in hell for stealing cable. But I like how Homer's like, I know you're mad at me right now, and I'm kind of mad too. I mean, we could sit here and try to figure out who forgot to pick up who till the cows come home. But let's just say we're both wrong, and that'll be that.
No, Homer, no. I will say this scene is super creepy for a non-Halloween episode.
But it is Halloween. Today's Halloween. If you're listening to this episode today, it's Halloween.
Yes, but this actual episode does not take place on Halloween.
No.
And apparently people complained about it.
Really? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of dark for Bart to, think of his father like that. But hey, I'd be really pissed too if I, A, didn't get picked up from soccer practice, and B, had to wait in the rain to get picked up from soccer practice, and C, I didn't have a cell phone to call my dad because it's 1993 to call my parents and wonder why they haven't picked me up yet.
So now we cut back and it's nighttime, it's bedtime, and Bart apparently has a TV in his room now, which I've never seen before.
Well, I said, this TV apparently moves from room to room. There's no TV in the den or in the living room. There's only a TV we've ever really seen in the den.
There is a TV in Marge and Homer's bedroom every once in a while,
which I still think is like a TV that's like they're moving their TV for some. Because remember, Homer needed to move the TV upstairs one episode because he was sick.
Yes.
So that TV gets moved around. I swear, I think the Simpsons only have one TV, and it just gets moved around room to room.
Yeah, so Bart is watching Tuesday Night Live, which is a parody of SNL, and this episode is being hosted by Krusty, and of course Krusty is bombing.
Yep. Which I like how it's Lorne Michaels though, because Krusty's like, and Lorne Michaels asked me to. So I love how they do a Tuesday Night Live as the reference to Saturday Night Live, but it's still ran by Lorne Michaels.
Apparently, with all the references to SNL, the writers really didn't like this this series, like the SNL, like I can't think of the word, like this iteration of it in this time period, and so they were just bashing Saturday Night Live, like, oh, the skits run too long, the skits at the end of SNL are just, garbage. And the reason, like, you see like weirder skits at the end is it's something that they're like, oh, this probably isn't going to catch the audience's eye. The writers really didn't like SNL. They were making fun of, the skits that go on at the end of SNL because they're not good, and those are more the experimental skits that they like to do. Like, some of the skits run on too long. So I didn't start watching SNL probably until like the late 90s.
I mean, I watched SNL in the 90s quite a bit, and
did you watch did you watch like the ones like in the early 90s?
Yeah, early 90s, late 90s. Yeah, I mean, I really didn't start falling off of SNL till probably mid 2005-ish, because I just wasn't watching late night TV as much anymore.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I was kind of the same too. Like,
but I liked it. I mean, I watched whole episodes.
Yeah, I mean, going back to like probably like, as you said, the mid 2000s, I feel like that's when the decline started to happen for like the aughts, because you had Sandler leaving, Tim Meadows leaving, Spade leaving, Farley passed away, Phil Hartman was murdered. You had a lot of cast members who people really enjoyed leave, and then you had a new batch, and I think it started to pick kind of back up better when Tina Fey and Amy Poehler were doing Weekend Update. People really enjoyed that. And then you had Seth Meyers and Bill Hader and Andy Samberg. And honestly, I've watched a lot of SNL over the last couple of years, and I gotta say, it's pretty good. I mean, you got Kenan Thompson, who, he did all that for many years, so he knows what he's doing with sketch comedy. And it's good now, but yeah, again, I didn't really watch it in the early 90s because I was 6 in 93. Yeah. So there's no way in hell I was up at what time is it air? 10:30 on Saturday nights. I was in bed by 9. Yeah. So now we get the commercial for Bigger Brothers, which parody of Big Brother Big Sister, and the number is KL52233.
Nice.
Yeah. Had to get the number in there.
Oh yeah. We gotta know who to call to get a big brother or a big sister.
The one thing about this episode I'd really like to know is if this actually helped out the program at all, like getting people to sign up to be big brothers or big sisters.
Maybe. I don't know. I would have liked, like I said, I would have liked to talk to someone within that organization. It would have been kind of nice.
Yeah.
But so Bart calls and says that he does not have a father, because he got pissed off. At least he got pissed off enough to do this instead of run away. Most kids, when they get upset at their parents, they do the whole "I'm gonna run away" bit. But
absolutely.
But he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sneak out on my dad. And so then we cut to the Big Ear family, and Krusty, comes in and does all his ear puns, and he's like, this goes on for another 15 minutes.
Again, making fun of sketches that go on too long.
Yep. And so I like how when he gets to the organization, Bart pretends to be a British kid for some weird reason, like an Oliver Twist type thing.
Well, I think the reason he did that was because I assume if he gave them their real identity, or he gave the real identity, they'd figure out he has a father.
I don't know how they would know that, because it's not like they know him personally.
Well, what if they do a background check on the kids and the adults that You
Yeah.
know?
I don't know. Well, obviously they didn't do a background check on Homer. Otherwise, this story would be not going on. But he said he hasn't seen his father in 6 years. And so she's like, well, I've been saving someone extremely special for you. And so Bart gets the big brother named Tom, who rides a motorcycle and is completely awesome and an F1 fighter pilot and super awesome.
Yeah.
And so, Homer really doesn't believe that Bart, is mad at him, even though he was called him a bad father. And so, Marge, when kids these days say bad, they mean good. And to shake your booty means to wiggle one's butt.
Do you remember if this was in Life in the Fast Lane?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think it was. I think it might have been, but I don't remember. So anybody out there, if you remember hearing this in Life in the Fast Lane, let us know. That is the bowling episode with Jacques.
Yep. And so I love how Marge and Homer are going through their bills. And there's a charge for on the phone bill for $378.53 to the 900-555 Corey. And Marge's like, Homer, explain yourself. Well, there was a record club, and they said you get 10 CDs for a penny, and then they want you to buy more. And I love how that's a reference to the Columbia House deal, which I for one, definitely fell for one time.
Oh.
Because...
Let me guess, you were like 10?
Yeah. And I was like, ooh, 10 CDs for a penny. This will be awesome. And I got my 10 CDs for a penny. And then they wanted me to like join their club and buy more CDs. And I'm like, screw this. I got your 10 CDs. I'm done.
Right. Yeah.
But no. I remember the Columbia House deal. I remember like you have to get all these stickers and put them on the thing and send them in. And apparently Homer fell for it too. So
yeah.
I feel like it was a good deal, but as soon as you hit like a certain point, then the CDs started becoming like $15. I'm like, I can go to Best Buy and get them for like $8.
Yeah.
But I love how this is a 900 number and not an 800 number because for those of you that don't know, 900 numbers are typically the sex hotline numbers.
Oh.
And so I think that's why Marge was like, Homer, explain yourself. Yeah. But it was actually to a teeny bobber hotline, which I can't quite remember if those really existed. I guess I wasn't a 8-year-old girl, so
you weren't.
I don't know if those actually existed or not. But then while Homer and Marge are talking about it, Lisa's kind of on the other side of her door, and she slams her door. There's the Corey poster on the door, and Lisa.
Now remind me if I'm wrong. So in the Simpsons house, you walk up the stairs. The adult bedroom is to the left.
Yes.
And then you have the kids' doors on the wall. How could Lisa see into their room from her door, like facing their room, if the door is on the perpendicular wall?
Yeah, because yes, you walk up the stairs, to the left is Homer and Marge's room, and then the bathroom. And then if you go to the right, you got Lisa's room is the first door, Bart's room is the second door, and Maggie's room's the cross door from Lisa.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know how that's physically possible. But then again, Simpsons house does not apply for physics.
Yep.
So yeah, Lisa is the one making the phone calls to the Corey hotline. And, I like how when she calls like, hey, girls, it's the Corey hotline. And, Corey's sitting on the bed saying, why won't you call?
Yeah, because there's a magazine.
Yep. And
that's out of a magazine.
Yep. And so there's the Non-Threatening Boys magazine, which is which we've seen before.
Yeah.
And I like how one of the articles is Meet Joey Joe. Because Joey Joe. I don't know who Joey Joe is, and why he's not Corey, but apparently they got to feature other boys in this Non-Threatening Boys magazine. And so Marge, asked Lisa why she just didn't ask for permission. And she's like, I did. And Homer's watching TV. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, we get a flashback of Lisa going to Homer to ask about it. And she's like, Homer, can I? Yeah, do whatever.
Yep. So, but Lisa knows better. No, Lisa knows better. Ask Homer. She'll be able to get away with a lot more when you ask Homer than you will when you ask Marge.
Yep.
And so Marge is like, when I was your age, I had a crush on Bobby Sherman. She's like, Bobby Sherman?
Who's Bobby Sherman?
I don't know, but I feel like this isn't the first time Marge mentions Bobby Sherman's name.
I don't know.
I'm sure he's like a singer from the 60s or 70s or something and was really hot. And, but Marge is like, that's not the point. The point is you can't do this anymore. I don't think we've ever called numbers and raked up phone bills. And by the way, just to let you guys know, in the 90s, you could make phone calls that wind up on your parents' bill because landlines were a thing in the 90s, kids. So
okay, so Bobby Sherman was a singer, actor, paramedic, police officer, who was the singer for the Monkees. Remember, she was a Monkees fan because remember the Lunchbox episode or the scene where the little kid makes fun of Marge because she has the Monkees lunchbox. Yep, it's the Monkees. Yep.
It all comes together.
Yes, it does.
But I like how at the end of the conversation, Lisa's like, Bobby Sherman. And Marge does her. And so now we get Tomato Day at Springfield Stadium. Man, they have some weird handouts at baseball games in Springfield.
Yep.
But then, Tom's there with Bart and, did your father ever take you to any baseball games? And Bart's like, no, his game was blackjack. And Homer bet his entire life savings on one single hand.
And we cut back to him playing blackjack. 20, hit me. 21, hit me. 22. Don't.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're on 21, I think, now remind me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I played blackjack at a casino.
What the hell did you do in Vegas?
Played craps.
Well, that was crappy.
No, I won $30.
Oh my God.
We were playing $5 hands.
No, you don't play hands in craps.
Whatever. We were playing
the
roll $5
dice.
Table.
You don't know what you were doing in Vegas, do you? You were drunk.
I might have had a contact high from all the marijuana smoke. No, so the last time I played blackjack at a casino, if you hit 21, they automatically stop you.
Well, yes, absolutely. But
now,
remember, Homer was playing some backdoor blackjack somewhere.
I feel like even in a backdoor alley, they're like, you have 21, you win, and he wouldn't bet anymore.
I don't know. It's Homer.
But also, Bart is lying, not only about the blackjack, but about Homer not taking the baseball games, because obviously Homer became the Capital City goofball.
Yep.
Or not the Capital City, he was dancing Homer, sorry. So, Bart is a lying liar who lies. So now they're watching the baseball game, and the game is delayed so that the recruiter for the Springfield Communist Party could recruit people to the Springfield Communist Party.
Did they do that just because it was tomato? It's like, we got to have a guy that everyone hates because we're passing out tomatoes. And I don't know why anyone would want to clean up the field after, this, but hey.
Now, and obviously this isn't the first time they had the Springfield Communist Party recruiter, because as he's getting tomatoes thrown at him, he says, this is better than Dart Day. What are they handing out Springfield isotope darts?
Yep.
Good Lord. What do they give you? Because I know in the game of darts, you get 3 darts. So
yeah,
they hand out a nice little package of darts that there's 3 there, and everybody's throwing a bunch of darts at this guy.
I guess. I don't know. Apparently Springfielders don't like taking home their giveaways from baseball games.
So now we go to Dr. Hibbert's office where Lisa is getting eardrops for something. And mind you, so when Marge and Lisa were talking about her not calling, Lisa promised not to spend another one of their dollars on the hotline.
Yep.
So remember that. So Hibbert is like, here's a MASH coloring book. And instead of giving it to Lisa, he takes it for himself.
Well, he's starting to look at it. It's like, oh, this is such and such doing this.
Hawkeye,
yeah. And he's like, oh, I'm just going to keep this coloring book myself. But I like how Dr. Hibbert told Lisa to keep her head at that angle for the eardrops that she sees the phone. It's like, all right, I got a call. And so here some of the recording. I got some of the recording messages for the Corey hotline. Okay. Here's the one from Dr. Hibbert's office. Here's the list of things that rhyme with Corey. Glory, story, allegory, Montessori. Who would pay for this?
Lisa would.
Apparently she just wants to hear a guy talk. That's
well,
like
a dreamboat
a
talk.
dreamboat, yeah. And I love how it's just a recording. It's not even him. Like, you can't talk directly to him. It's just him saying things. And the next one I have for you is even funnier. So, go ahead.
Okay. So now we cut back, and Tom and Bart are hanging out. They're working out, and they're like, "All right, we're done with our workout. Let's go watch Ren and Stimpy." So they made a deal with Nickelodeon to do Ren and Stimpy. They didn't like do the gross out stuff, and
that wasn't gross. This is just a composition of hairballs in my stomach acid.
But apparently, Nickelodeon took over the animation of this part of the episode, which, I mean, it's their property. So
well, yeah, let them do the you know.
So that's really cool though that they got a Ren and Stimpy reference on The Simpsons.
I mean, it's funny that they didn't go with their traditional Itchy and Scratchy too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they could have easily done Itchy and Scratchy.
Well, I feel like the reason they did Ren and Stimpy was to show how cool Tom was as compared to Homer when him and Peppy watch Itchy and Scratchy together.
I guess Ren and Stimpy is cooler than Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah. So now we get to, Bart is at school and it's show and tell day.
Yep.
And he's talking about Tom being an F-14 fighter pilot.
Yeah, he's like, someday I want to be an F-14 pilot like my hero, Tom. He lent me his new weapon called a neural disruptor. And then Bart presses the trigger and a laser shoots Barton and he falls onto the floor twitching. And
Is he okay?
Krabappel's like, he's not dead, is he, Bart? Nah, but I wouldn't give him any homework for a while. Very good, Bart. Thank you. And Bart's like, oh, don't thank me. Thank our unprecedented 8-year military buildup. So, but I do like the fact, and I feel like this was done in a proper way where they could have, Bart could have been like my dad because, because Bart was obviously having Tom. Yeah, well, I guess no, because
no, he got it from Tom. He got it from Tom.
No, I know that. I'm just saying he could have said. Well, I guess he said his hero Tom, not my big brother, or my big father. Big father, would you call it?
Big brother.
Big brother Tom. It was like my hero because I think that's kind of a cool way to have put it.
Yeah, I like the fact that Krabappel wasn't even angry at Bart
for shooting Bart in the head.
I'm sure she probably enjoyed that because Martin is annoying.
Yep.
And so now we get we go to Milhouse. It's Milhouse's turn for show and tell.
Yeah,
he's
can't
like,
beat that.
I have this horsey. Nay. Doesn't Martin yell at him, like calls him a wuss?
No, Nelson?
Yeah, Nelson.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said Martin.
I think so,
Nelson. Yeah. So now Lisa decides to go visit Grandpa Abe. And Abe's like, oh my God, thank you so much for visiting me. We'll show those people we can still have fun. And then he falls asleep in his chair.
And his chair does the thing where it like reclines apparently all on its own.
I want one of those self-reclining chairs.
Yeah. You fall asleep and the recliner just knows to go down.
So he falls asleep and Lisa sees the phone sitting next to Grandpa. So she calls the Corey hotline again.
Yep. And so, I don't know. I don't think it was this one. I think it's the. I don't have the one from this one, but I have the one when she's at the Principal Skinner.
Okay. Well, we're getting up on that.
Yep.
So now Bart is leaving the house to go, hang out with Tom some more, and Homer is like, "Oh, where are you going?" And Bart's like, "Father-son picnic." And Homer doesn't really realize what's going on.
Yeah.
And of course, Homer is watching more TV. And so Lisa, now we cut back to the school, and Skinner's like, "Oh, thank you, Lisa, for inventory of these week-old peanut brittle." He's like, "You're the only one I can trust."
Yep.
What, does he think people are gonna eat it, or?
I don't, maybe, or steal it, or
why would anybody steal week-old peanut brittle?
Or why is there week-old peanut brittle? Wouldn't it be in the trash if it's week-old peanut brittle?
No. Do you know this Springfield Elementary? They're going to use this shit to feed the kids.
Oh, right.
And so she's she's starting to inventory it, but she sees the phone and she's got to call the Corey hotline.
Yep. And I love how she starts dialing it. And I like how
Skinner
we cut
can
to
see her.
Yeah, Principal Skinner could see because it's a school phone. It's like, that's a 900 number. I like how he just knows. Like, but we get so Corey this time. He's like, let's see what's in the newspaper today. Canada stalls on trade pact. Like, apparently now this Corey guy just is. I bet it's not even really Corey. I bet it's some dude on the other end just recording himself doing this.
And so before Skinner catches Lisa calling the hotline, he's like, oh, I need to make some cuts to the budget. And so we get a legal pad where it says Springfield Elementary budget. Now, my question is this the money they're spending per week, per month, or per year? Because I have no frame of reference. So the first three, you can't really tell what the numbers are because they're crossed off. So the red line is over the number. So the first three on the list are first aid, books, and science. Now the reason I ask is this per week, per month, or per year. So they spend $150 on history, $130 on music and arts, $99 on hot lunches, $195 on custodial, so I'm assuming Willie, and $160 on the playground. So, like, is this upkeep? Is this, what do you mean by history? Like, is it history books? Is it models?
Field trips?
Is it field trips? Like,
I would say between a week and a month. I mean, hot lunches, 99, I might say a week. Because you got to feed all the kids, and that seems like a, I mean, how much do you think one of those giant ass pizzas on Wednesday cost, man? $5.
Like, yeah. So either between a week or a month. So, but I love how he also crosses out music and art.
Yeah. It's like, I got to cut some of this budget.
Yeah. I mean, that's really, that's not a lot of money, I feel like. So then, as we mentioned, Skinner then catches Lisa calling the hotline, and, I think he calls the Simpsons house because Marge ends up there later, but we'll get there.
Yep. And so now we see Tom and Bart hang gliding outside.
Yep.
And I like how Tom's, I would kiss you, Bart, but I signed a form saying I wouldn't.
This might be a reference to the fact that the Catholic Church used to be a big part of the Big Brother, Big Sister program. Oh. And as we all know, the Catholic Church has a bad history with children.
Yeah.
We won't go too much into that. And apparently there used to be a sleepover thing when it came to Big Brother, Big Sister. And now they don't do that anymore because of said Catholic Church. So
yeah. But I don't know. I know with Ben, I don't think it was a Big Brother, Big Sister thing, but I know Ben's church always did like sleepover things.
Like lock-ins?
Lock-ins, yeah. I'm sure they still do those, right?
I don't know, but I feel like didn't our youth group kind of do that too?
Lock-ins? Yeah. Yep. So. Oh, absolutely. Yep. But I like how as they're flying over Springfield, apparently there's an active volcano. Like, where? What?
There are active volcanoes in the United States.
No, I know that, but I didn't think Springfield had a volcano. Unless Mount Springfield, I think Mount Springfield is erupting.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see if this volcano ever comes to pass again. But I like how Homer catches Bart with Tom like through binoculars. Apparently they're just flying over the Simpsons house.
Why would he be outside with binoculars anyways? Well, and how did he...
Well, he knew Bart was up to something because he was going to a
why would you look
picnic.
at the sky?
I don't know. Because
why would Homer's not that smart?
I don't know. And so, Homer, confronts Bart when he comes back into the house. He's like, "Hello, son. Where have you been? Playing with Milhouse? No, you haven't. You've been out gallivanting around with that floozy of a big brother of yours. Haven't you? Haven't you? Look at me."
This is a movie moment.
Yep. And so it's like, "Dad, it just kind of happened. You're taking this too hard. How would you like me to take it? Go ahead, Bart. Have your fun. I'll be waiting for you. I'm sorry, I can't do it." Well, what are you going to do? Oh, you'll see. And so, yeah, this is a reference to the scene from Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Never seen it.
Never saw it. I don't know.
I've heard of it. Never seen it.
Yep, I've heard of it, but never seen it.
The scene apparently is Richard Burton accusing his wife of adultery.
Oh, that makes sense. No. Based on the scene at hand. Yes. So Homer next goes to the Big Brother's agency to ask the woman, to get his own little brother. And he's like, and what are your reasons for wanting a little brother? Don't say revenge. Don't say revenge. Revenge. That's it. I'm getting out of here. You hear footsteps of him walking away and a door slamming. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then the agency worker checks off revenge on it. And on the worksheet next to that, there are 4 other ones. Spite, malice.
It's the same worksheet.
Or same worksheet, yeah. Yep. It's like there's spite, malice, boredom, and profit.
Oh my God.
Welcome aboard, Mr. Simpson.
The funny thing is, I remember this episode, clearly not well enough, and I could have sworn that when I watched this episode originally, I don't remember her checking off revenge.
Oh, I do. Oh, I remember that. Oh, absolutely. But I like how there's there's no good reasons to have a little brother on the list.
Cultivating a young mind. Yeah. Not cultivating a young mind, being a positive influence, wanting to put good in the world. Nah, spite, malice, revenge, boredom, and profit.
Yep.
I'm going to exploit bigger brother.
Yep. And so I like how Homer's sitting there flipping through pictures of boys, and he goes, ugly, wiener, crater face, suey.
Which pigs.
Yep.
Wasn't that kid in like a prisoner uniform?
Yes. Well, I think they all had like prison numbers and stuff.
No, because we only saw the picture of the one boy when he did the Suey call.
Yeah.
But he had like a prison number. Was he in juvenile detention?
Well, yeah, those are the kids that need the most attention.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, you look at the Bigger Brother, Bigger Sister program, and it's a lot of, poverty stricken or bad neighborhood kids. Like that's kind of the clientele.
I feel like there are some kids in the program who just don't have good parental guidance or
that. Yeah. And so Homer's like, and then so he sees Peppy walking in, and he's like, do you have any bigger brothers for me yet? And he's like, oh, I'll take that one. Do you have him in blonde?
What? This isn't a store, Homer.
Well, he's flipping through a catalog of kids. It's kind of like a store.
You're not wrong.
And so, Marge tells Lisa, now we come back to the house and yep. And so,
no, they're at the principal's.
Or yeah. Oh, okay. That's
principal's
right.
office.
Yep. And so Marge tells Lisa that, if you can make it to midnight, you're on your way to becoming, a lot better. And Skinner's like, listen to your mother, Lisa. Because I got to where I was today, but listen to my mom. And he opens up the blinds and he's like, there's Mother now. Yes, Mother.
What, Mother?
Yeah.
This is for school. I don't have to listen to you. This whole setup is a great reference to the movie Psycho and Making Skinner Norman Bates. And I love it because the house looks like the Bates Motel.
Now, my question is this just one of those weird, like Nam, like PTSD references for Skinner? Does he actually know that that's not his house? Because he lives with his mother.
Yeah.
Like, is he getting, the funny thing, like, is he just getting into his own head and doing that? Or does he actually think he lives in that house up on the hill?
Well, the funny thing too is every other time we see Skinner look out, there's the playground. You don't see the house. It's the only time you ever see it. So I feel like I think you're right. I think this is kind of a PTSD trip where it's like maybe it does have to do something with his mom, where he has a bad memory of his mom because they live together. But also, I think they wanted to throw the Psycho reference in there.
Yeah,
and also this is a Halloween. This episode lands on Halloween, so now you get a Psycho reference.
Nice.
So there you go.
See, this is why we planned for this episode to come out on Halloween. Yeah, actually, it was not planned. It just randomly happened that way. All right, so now Homer goes over to the kids' neighborhood, over to Pepe's neighborhood, and we see a guy sleeping in a dumpster. He's like, "Oh, just like Oscar the Grouch."
Well, close enough.
I'm sure that guy's pretty grumpy.
Yeah. By the way, when I saw this scene, my first thought was, I don't know how much Dave Chappelle you've listened to in your life, but in one of his like first or second specials he ever did, and I have this on my like with my music, he does a bit where he talks about Sesame Street and how he's like, you know, his kid was watching it and then he was watching it, he's like, oh, this actually teaches kids not to be good. He talks about Oscar the Grouch and like how kids will grow up and step over homeless people and tell them to get it together, Grouch. So that was my first thought when I saw this scene. And so we get this is where we find out that Homer's little brother is Pepe. That's his name. And so Homer tells Pepe that his life is going to get better from here on out. And then of course Pepe gets his head hit on by a pipe. And I don't know if you noticed this, but there is graffiti on the wall behind them that says Doom with an arrow pointing the way they walk.
I guess I didn't notice that. Did you see the billboard with Krusty's likeness on it in like foreign language caption?
Yes, I did see. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that was pretty good. So obviously, you know, Pepe is an underprivileged kid and, you know, Homer is going to help him. And so, you know, they go back to the house and he's like, I want to show you a modern marvel, the garage door. Now, mind you, the garage door is blue in this scene.
Yeah, it's really odd.
Yeah. Animation error or...
Yeah, probably.
It was weird. And so I love how he's like, with the press of this button, I can make the garage door go up. And he hits the button and it only goes up like a little way. Like when you like, you know, you hit the button, you don't think the garage door has gone up. So you hit it again and it just stops the garage door.
Yeah.
Because I've done that a lot with my garage door opener sucks. Anyways. And so Pepe's like, why didn't it go all the way up, Mr. Homer? This stupid garage door. And he starts banging on the garage door.
Yep. Denting it and hitting it. And
he's like, oh, now I guess I'm going to take you home. And Pepe's like, I don't want to go home. So they sit out in the backyard looking up at the stars. And Pepe is like, oh, can you name the constellations for me, Mr. Homer? And Homer's like, that one is Jerry the cowboy.
Yeah.
And that one, that Big Dipper looking thing, that's Alan.
Alan, the cowboy.
The cowboy. And then Pepe's like, oh, you are very learned, Mr. Homer. Learn, Pepe.
Learn.
The word is
learn.
The word. He's like, I love you, Mr. Homer. I love you too, Pepsi. My name is Pepe.
Oh, it's so good.
I used to love Pepsi.
I love that line. That is so great.
That is fantastic. And so now we cut back inside the house. Marge is knitting. Maggie is playing on her toy cell phone, or not toy cell phone, toy telephone,
like the rotary phone, like the kitty.
Yeah,
rotary
the rotary
phone.
Yeah, we had one of those.
Oh, yeah.
And the clock is like 11:35, or maybe it was 7.
No, it was 7. It was early.
It was 7 o'clock, and Lisa's like, you know, I've never been a junkie, but I feel like this is kind of like, you know, when you haven't had a hit.
Yeah,
you know.
Like this is Lisa bowing down to her addiction.
What's the word when you don't like not decompressing,
detoxify,
detox? Yeah, she's detoxing from not calling the hotline.
Yeah,
and so like, and then we get like kind of this montage of like Marge, you know, knitting and the clicking of the needles, and Maggie playing with her phone and making the ringing noises. And Lisa's had enough, and she yells at Maggie for playing with her phone. And she like runs away, and you know, Marge is kind of concerned, and so she gets up after a while to go check on Lisa, and you see the phone cord, you know, and Lisa's laying on the kitchen table with her head on the table, and you know, she's got the phone on her ears, and Marge's like, oh no, and Lisa's asleep. Marge picks up the phone, expecting to hear the Corey hotline, but it's the operator saying that it's midnight, and Lisa made it to midnight. She's hopefully going to beat her addiction of calling the Corey hotline.
Well, like, I don't know why Marge was up till midnight anyway.
To make sure Lisa didn't call the Corey hotline.
Yeah, I guess. It just seems really weird. Like, it just seems kind of odd. Because if Lisa went to bed, I mean, that's what Marge assumed. Yeah. Marge just assumed Lisa went to bed. And
but she was in the kitchen.
Well, yeah, but Marge went to go check on her in her room because she just assumed she was still sleeping.
That's right. And she wasn't there.
Yeah, so it's like, well, if you know your daughter went to bed and you normally go to bed, 10, 11, whatever it is. I don't know. It seems kind of weird, but.
So now we cut back to Homer and Peppy. I believe they were at Peppy's house.
Yeah, they must have been. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they weren't at the Simpson house. And they were watching Itchy and Scratchy, and they were watching the episode Kitty Kitty Bang Bang. And Itchy and Scratchy go bowling, and Itchy ties his Scratchy's tongue to the ball return, and then he decides to bowl with a bomb, and the bomb goes in the bowling ball return, and it blows up Scratchy. And the fragments of Scratchy goes into bowls, one labeled cat ligaments, 79 cents per pound, and cat intestines, 59 cents per pound. And Itchy sells Scratchy meat to some dogs.
Dude, I have to say, I was watching this. I think I have to say this is one of my favorite Itchy and Scratchy episodes. Good. This one is great.
I like the moon. I like the moon one. The moon one's
pretty good. But this one, I think this one has to be. Maybe it's my love of bowling. But I feel like this has to be like one of my favorite Itchy and Scratchy episodes.
It's pretty good. Yeah. So, and Tom and Bart watch Ren and Stimpy because Tom is cool, and Homer and Peppy watch Itchy and Scratchy because Peppy is poor.
What? Itchy and Scratchy is the poor man's Ren and Stimpy?
Well, yeah, it's the poor man's Tom and Jerry.
Apparently.
So now we go probably to the next day, and Bart is looking for his skateboard, and Bart asks Homer where his skateboard is, and Homer's like, well, I gave it to Peppy.
Who the hell is Peppy?
Peppy. My little brother. And Homer's like, and now they're kind of like fighting, and Homer's like, oh, well, we had fun. Like that time I pushed you on the swing set, and Bart was like, I was faking it. No, you weren't. Higher, Dad. Higher. Oh, this is so fun. And this is another movie reference to the scene in When Harry Met Sally when, was it Meg Ryan, right?
Yep.
She does the fake orgasm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an odd reference to throw in there, but here we are.
Yep. And so now we cut to Marine World. No longer educational.
I'm assuming it's a play on SeaWorld.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And so I like how there's two bathrooms as we walk in. One's labeled buoys, one's labeled gulls. Which is pretty good. I think that's a pretty good one.
But why would you... I get it, but why would you associate gulls with girls?
Well, buoys for boys.
I get it.
I think it's just more of the play on words, like the sound, how they sound.
I know.
And so anyways. I like how now we cut to Homer teasing a dolphin. He's like, I can't get it. I can't get it.
Here's your fish. Ah.
And then Dolphin's smart enough to take Homer's hot dog, and Homer's all pissy about it. So that's pretty good.
And he wants to fight him.
Yep. And so after that, we see Bart sees Homer, and Bart kind of goes back up against the fish tank, the aquarium, and Homer sees him through it, and they're kind of like, hi. And then Tom walks up to him and is like, who's that, Bart? Oh, he's nobody. And Homer's like, for your information, I'm his father. The drunk gambler? Yeah. That's right. And who might you be?
Oh, God.
Which is awesome. And so then they start their fight. And so, I mean, they assuming they start fighting at the aquarium, but I love how Homer like takes some starfish out of the thing, hucks them at Tom, and they all stick into as ninja stars, they all stick in the wall. So he catches them all, and then he gently puts them back in the thing, and a shark eats them. So and then he says dough. I love how Tom says dough. That was so awesome.
If you also look to Tom and Homer are dressed exactly the same.
Because Tom's shirts are like a button up, and collar.
It's white and blue.
Yeah, but they're not dressed the same. Maybe same color scheme, but they're not wearing the same outfit. And so now they start their fight, and I guess I don't necessarily know when they leave the aquarium, because now they're just fighting throughout Springfield.
Well, no, because they cut to Eddie and Chief Wiggum sitting in a car.
Well, yeah, Lou's like, there's a couple of guys fighting at the
Lou.
aquarium, Chief. They still sell those frozen bananas? I think so. Let's roll.
So at this point, they are still fighting there.
Yeah, but then the next couple scenes, like you get like the China shop where they kind of fight into the China shop
because they fight through the entrance of the aquarium and into Springfield.
Yeah, I mean, how far into Springfield do these guys fight? Because then they wind up at the gorge.
It's a cartoon. Why don't we keep going through the episode, and we'll get there?
Yeah. What do you mean get there?
We'll get there. Get to the
where?
gorge.
Yeah,
Get
so
to the gorge. Keep reading.
Well, I know that, but okay. So then we cut to Ken Brockman is reporting on the fight, which apparently it got to the news studio really damn quickly. And it's like, and one of the fighters is a giant lizard, and they show a picture of Godzilla. It's like, what was it? Where do we get the source on this? I think
Drunken frat boys.
Yeah, drunken frat boys. Like, sources, drunken frat boys who use the name IP freely. God!
And this isn't the first instance of IP freely.
Nope. I mean, you work for a news station. I mean, do you just go on air with random sources like drunk frat boys?
No. Usually if there's breaking news, what'll happen is you'll go on air, be like, hey, there was a shooting. It was at this place. We don't know what else is going on. We'll come back with more information. Now, I will say the craziest kind of breaking news that happened was there was a standoff here in the state of Wisconsin in the area where I live, not in Green Bay. I think it was in like Fond du Lac. And we reported on it. We said there was a situation with police. That's all we said. Find out one of the other stations said, oh, it's about like a father, like not like necessarily but they explained the situation. Apparently the guy was following the news, found out, and the police had to reset the negotiations.
Oh my God.
And it was I've never seen anything like that. Like we were like our station was vague about it, but apparently one of the other stations like, oh yeah, this is the actual situation. And the dude called the cops and said, hey, this needs to stop. And they had to reset, and the situation ended up going for another 12 hours.
Oh my God. That's funny.
So
then we got to...
But yes, with breaking news, it comes in pretty fast, and you don't usually go you're vague about it.
Yeah, so then we see Homer and Tom fighting in the China shop.
Yep.
And they roll
no, it was an antique shop.
Or antique shop.
It was an antique shop. It was not a China shop.
He was smashing a lot of China plates.
Yeah.
But
Tom's like, Homer. Oh, right.
Yep. And then they start fighting down the road, and they fall off Springfield Gorge and plunk into a river. And then they fight back up the other side of the gorge. I mean, I get that's very cartoony, but man, they were just fighting all over Springfield, man. Just everywhere. I mean, I don't know. Yes, I get very cartoony, but I don't know. Seems kind of they could have ended it a lot sooner. I don't think you have to go all out. Yeah, but
they had time to fill.
Yeah, I guess. And so now they're just, punching each other on the street.
Well, hold on, you missed the plaque.
Oh, I'm sorry. So after they leave the gorge, there's a plaque on the for the Springfield Gorge that says third most beautiful gorge in the state. So I think we got to find out a state that has multiple gorges.
Well, but my question is, it's the third most beautiful, but yet this is the only gorge in Springfield, isn't it?
Well, they said in the state.
Gorge?
No. It says third most beautiful in the state.
Okay.
So we gotta find a state that has multiple gorges.
I'm sure there's multiple states with multiple gorges.
We'll narrow it down then. All right. So then we cut to them just fighting on the street, and Homer is punched out and lands on a fire hydrant bent over backwards.
Oh.
And Homer's like, this is even more painful than it looks. I mean, it looked pretty damn painful, but...
Oh, I felt that one, man.
Yeah.
I felt that one.
Yep. And so now, Bart apologizes to Homer saying, hey, if you really want to get hurt,
Physically hurt.
Yeah, physically hurt. And
well, he didn't say physical, but I know Bart meant physical.
Yep. And so now, Peppy and Tom are sitting on the curb saying, Peppy's like, I don't have a bigger brother. And Tom's like, I don't have a little brother. They don't talk about like the things they can't do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm hungry. I have all this food at home.
Yeah.
Well, I have this empty seat in my car and I have no ride.
Yep. And so Bart decides, hey, I got an idea. Here, you two become big brother, little brother.
Yep.
And so then we cut back to the house and, Bart's like, Dad, remember when Tom had you in that headlock and you screamed, I'm a hemophiliac. And when he let you go, you kicked him in the back. Yeah. Will you teach me how to do that? Sure, boy. First, you gotta shriek like a woman and keep sobbing till he turns away in disgust. That's when it's time to kick some back.
Oh, God. And by the way, if anybody is curious, a hemophiliac is someone who has blood that does not clot properly. So I don't know if Homer actually knew what a hemophiliac was, or if he just kind of thought of it and Tom knew what a hemophiliac was. So he was like, oh, well, if I hit him in the face and he starts bleeding, that shit's gonna gush.
Yeah, well, it is kind of funny because when you actually see Tom punching Homer kind of repeatedly, you see little red blood droplets coming out of Homer's mouth. Like, it was pretty
but Homer's
brutal.
Not a hemophiliac.
No, I'm assuming not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this episode, man, I love it. I mean, I can't give it a 5, but I'm definitely going to go 4 sprinkles. The B story of the Corey hotline, take it or leave it, I guess. But
yeah.
I mean, it's like, man, but the whole A storyline is fantastic. I love Pepsi.
Absolutely.
Pepsi's awesome.
Peppy.
And yeah, that's what I said, Peppy. And I love the fight between, Homer and Bart. I mean, look, I get the whole, upset Bart. I mean, definitely a kid can be very upset at their father. Were you ever forgotten to be picked up by dad or mom when you went at soccer practice?
Oh, man.
Or even school, like when you played soccer for Park, like them not coming to pick you up, or
I don't think so. The only instance, and I wasn't even angry at mom and dad because it wasn't their fault. The only instance that I remember where I was not picked up from a game or practice was the game was switched to a different location and our coach yelled at us to not call our parents. And then when dad called her to confront her about it, she lied and said that we could because one of the guys actually slinked off to call his mom and she called other parents to know where we were. So anyways, so it wasn't their fault. And I got a ride home anyways from one of the guys that was on the team that lived in the neighborhood with us. But I don't really recall a time where they forgot to pick me up. I've been mad at our mom as a kid for other things. I don't think I've ever been angry at her dad. So yeah, no, I don't think there's ever really been a time where I got so upset where I wouldn't talk to them and thought about replacing them with a bigger brother.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, great episode. I mean, great references. The Shining one was probably one of my favorites. I mean, the Virginia Wolf thing, I mean, that is a good quote.
That's a good line.
Good line. It worked really well. But other than that, I mean, no, fantastic episode. 4 sprinkles.
Yeah, this is a really solid episode. I love the A story. It's really good. I kind of relate to it a little bit because of the soccer thing. I've never not been picked up or made it home like super late. So, that's really fun. The B storyline, if the B storyline was better, yeah, I definitely give this episode a 5.
Yeah, if it was a good complete episode, I think it could have hit the 5 range. But the B story was,
that brings it down a little bit. I mean, it's more of a mother-daughter thing,
and it really wasn't. I mean, it was like what if you had to take the time of it? I'd say it was like 5 minutes of the whole episode, if that.
Yeah. But it did give us the Norman Bates Psycho reference, so I applauded that. I like the what was the other the Shining reference. That was really good.
Yep.
So overall, solid episode for Sprinkles. Would have been a 5 if the B story had been better.
Yeah. All right. So let's give you our character profile. And this week we're talking about Pepsi. It's a soda. It's black. Oh, wait. Hold on. Sorry.
No,
I'm reading the
Pepsi
wrong
is
character.
brown.
Hold on. Sorry. I'm reading the wrong character profile. Here we go. Here's the one. Pepsi. Peppy. Wait, I keep reading the Peppy. Okay. We'll go with Peppy. His economic status, disadvantaged. Well, yeah, he's a pretty rundown part of Springfield, and his home does not look... I'm surprised because I get the whole big brother, little brother thing, like the program in general. It is kind of interesting that we wouldn't ever see Peppy's parents, maybe, but I guess I kind of see maybe his mom and dad are always at work, and this is his way of, having some, role model. Yeah. Of course, it's Homer. He's amazed by electric garage doors and Homer's wisdom.
Wisdom. Quotation marks.
Yeah. Newest tidbit. Whales aren't really mammals, according to Homer.
Oh, yeah. Well, because Tom's like, whales are mammals.
Yes. Yeah, that was pretty funny. And he's like, Papa Homer, is that true? No. Sex, male. Hair, black. And eyes, huge.
Not a color. They're big.
They're big. Those are big eyes. Peppy definitely has some big, big eyes.
So you've watched a lot of the newer episodes. They never bring Peppy back, I'm assuming?
No, Peppy's never been back.
Lame. Bring Peppy back.
Yeah, I want to see how Peppy grew up.
Hashtag bring Peppy back.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you're rebooting so many other things. Let's just reboot some older characters.
Right? Give me what I want.
All right, guys. So let's let you know. So be sure to check us out on our social media: Facebook, The Simpsons Did It Podcast; Instagram, The Simpsons Did It Pod; Twitter, Simpsons Did It PC. And as always, if you like to donate to our podcast, you could buy us some duffs on buymeacoffee.com/The Simpsons Did It. And we got stickers for you, so check those out.
Also, if you'd like to give us a call.
Ooh, I was getting there. Don't worry about it. I'm just going through all over where they can find us first. So, but be sure to donate if you can. If not, leave us a nice message. Let us know how we're doing on the podcast. We love feedback. So definitely feedback. That's why Feedback Friday exists. And with Feedback Friday, we have a new phone number that you can call us on: 612-584-0986. And we have a very special guest. If you haven't heard it yet, we had a special guest, Jaden, leave us his voicemail message for us, and it's absolutely hilarious. So even if you just call this number to see or hear Jaden give us an awesome Simpson character voice, just do that. You don't have to leave a message if you don't want, but if you want to hear an awesome person give an awesome impersonation, do it. It's fantastic.
Hilarious.
But yes, any comments or fun quotes or anything about our podcast you want to leave it, and we could possibly put it into one of our podcast episodes so you can hear yourself talk during an episode. So go check that out. And lastly, our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, comment on our videos. It's just, at this point, it's just all of our old podcasts in YouTube format. So I know a lot of people like listening on YouTube. So go check them out. Obviously, it's all older stuff because we're going to give all of you guys that are listening on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all the new episodes, and then we'll throw all the old stuff on YouTube for your listening pleasure in the future. So until next time, I'm Steven Skolansky.
I'm Robert Skolansky.
And this has been The Simpsons Did It.
Shh.